Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie. And this morning I'm just going to show you this video that's come out, which is really the walk that Rachel Morin took last August on the Morin Trail in Bel Air when she was snatched off the trail and unfortunately taken off and brutally murdered. We've been following this case right from the beginning. And when I saw this video, now I want to warn you, it's quite eerie, to see the exact trail that she took and where she ended up and what happened to her. So it's quite sad. So let's remember Rachel. I'm going to light my candle for Rachel this morning. Rachel was a 37-year-old mother of 5 children. Very beautiful woman. As we can see from the thumbnail. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is put a picture up of Rachel, because it's important to remember, isn't it, who we're talking about. And I just put a picture of Rachel up in the corner. So the person who's made this video is her ex-partner and the father of ex-husband, Michael, and the father of one of her children, one of her 5 children. And the very sad thing about Rachel, of course, the especially sad thing, if you like, is she had 5 children and they were to different fathers. So because Rachel is not there anymore to keep them all together, they have been split up. So it's very sad. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So this is Rachel Morin's final walk, because it's thought that she was not jogging, that she was walking, but we don't know really. So now we can see it looks, when they've taken this video, it's a beautiful day. Bearing in mind this was in August. It was later on in the evening. It was around about 5 o'clock, like a tea time, 5, 6 o'clock, a tea time walk. Now, what struck me when I was watching this is how many people there are around. And I can see, we watched Rachel's mum on Nancy Grace saying, she would have felt safe here. She's walked here ever since she was a child because the family, they're local, and the family went for walks there in the evenings after supper. They've got many happy memories on this trail. So this was a trail that Rachel had walked forever, all her life, really, more or less all her life. She had walked this trail. She had no reason to feel unsafe in any way, because you can see there's lots of people around. I mean, jogging, but somebody could come up at any minute. It's like, what a chance this guy took, didn't he? He must have known this trail very, very well, in my opinion, to feel confident enough. Because if he'd been there even just a couple of times, he would see what we're seeing, that there's lots of cyclists, dog walkers, walkers. There's lots of people. So you could not be sure.
Look behind us, about a 1-minute walk to that turn is where the bridge is that goes up to the trailhead. If you go the other direction, there's a trail. 3.5 minutes walk takes you to a parking lot for Illyrian Dendron.
So she was just 3.5 minutes walk from the parking lot. She wasn't even really that far into the trail. It's like this man, he's a phantom, this man. We watched remember, this is the guy who they've got his DNA and they tied him up to another incident in Los Angeles but he's still not been found. And it's been 8 months since his DNA was tied in. They've released a fantastic photo fit of him, and still this man has not been caught. This man is a ghost, a phantom. You know, it's unbelievable that he has not been caught, in my opinion.
Mansion. Um, if you look back in the other direction, it's about a 1 minute walk to the next turn. You can see where there's orange tape on the trees. That's a marking of some sort. But if you look in both directions now, you have a 1 minute walk in both directions, knowing that nobody's coming. This is exactly where Rachel was taken off the trail.
So it's the only point where you've got quite a long distance both ways that he can. I mean, had he watched Rachel there before, you know, and just that happened to be the day that it was clear both ways. I can't believe that this is just. I personally cannot believe that this was just an impulse crime. I think it was planned. I think he did stalk Rachel. He must have done. Just waited for the ideal opportunity.
Trail over to the tunnels behind us.
So
it's April right now. The vegetation is starting to.
This is where she was taken, and now it's going to show you where she was taken to.
It's not anywhere near as thick today as it was in August, but you already cannot see the left tunnel. The right tunnel is partially obstructed. So unless you know to look there.
Yeah, so fast forward a bit and imagine it was August. There'd be even more foliage, wouldn't there? And so you can just see the tunnel. You can just see one of the tunnels here. But in August, you wouldn't be able to see it at all. So what he's done to, whether he's hit her over the head there or just jumped out at her or what he's done. And then he has taken her. Now, she's only little and he's a big, powerful guy. But because we saw because we've got video of him, haven't we? Saw the video of him coming out the house in Los Angeles. He's a big, strong guy and Rachel was only little. So he's done, I don't know, disabilitated her in some way, maybe hit her over the head or maybe just threatened her. I don't know. And off he's took her.
You're not going to see it. Even right now, I'm sure in the video, you can see that it's not easy to see looking directly at it. If I remember correctly, I think it's only about 70 yards or so from here to the tunnel where the suspect killed Rachel, finally killed Rachel. The path right now seems to be a little bit more worn down than it was before. It does make me wonder if it's because more people are coming back here.
Yeah, so he's been there before and he's saying it seems more worn down than it was before. Of course, a lot of people have gone there, you know, the media have been there to take photos, etc. People have been there to do probably YouTube videos, etc. So it will be a little bit more worn down than it was before, but you can see it's not easy. And it's, you know, that guy is strong, that guy I think he must have been carrying her over his shoulder. I wonder if he made her unconscious, because surely, even though she's little, she would be struggling otherwise, unless she was just so terrified. Because, of course, you can just, you know, go unresponsive because your fear can start a fight or flight type thing. But also, they forget freeze. Freeze is another thing. When you're terrified, you just freeze. So maybe he was saying to her, don't shout or I'll kill you. You know, who knows?
But it's not an easy path walk if you're struggling or have somebody that's struggling because of all the rocks.
But he's so brazen, this man. We saw him coming out out of that apartment where he'd done what he'd done in Los Angeles. We saw how brazen he was. Look at this. there's cars just going past there, and I mean, okay, maybe they'd be struggling to see him, but you would feel a bit vulnerable there when you're carrying some poor woman you've just attacked over your shoulder, or what, or dragging her along the floor. I think there were drag marks. There was some drag, whether he just attacked her, as I say, made her unconscious, and then dragged her all that way. I don't know, but do you see, he's got some front, hasn't he? This guy, this is what's so terrifying about him. He literally does not care. I mean, he does care who sees him, but he's worked it all out in his head. He's took her off that trail, literally picked her up, plucked her off the ground, and taken her this journey, which is not, it's not a long journey to the tunnels, but it's not a short one either. I mean, it took a few minutes.
I feel like I need to pay attention to where I'm walking, otherwise I'm definitely going to catch toe.
God.
This is the Heavenly Water stream. It's the same stream that goes under the footbridge I was pointing toward earlier. And the stream that goes through both tunnels. The stream mostly goes through the right tunnel. The left tunnel barely has any water that goes through it.
Thing is, a lot of people wouldn't even know about those tunnels, wouldn't even notice them. He knew about them. Of course, Michael knew about them, the guy that the JLR first interviewed, because if you lived in that area, you would know about them. Probably kids hang around in them, smoke, graffiti. These are the sort of places. But most people who just walked the trail wouldn't have even known there were tunnels there, would they? You would only know of those tunnels if you'd been investigating or you knew the area.
Which is probably a secondary reason why he chose the left tunnel, not only because of the obstruction, but because of the left water. As you can see, this would be almost impossible.
Yeah, you can see him, and he's struggling, and he's not carrying the struggling woman in his arms, or, but I think that guy looked very strong and powerful. And of course, he'd be running on adrenaline. You just get this horrible picture of him dragging her, and she's maybe kicking. She's obviously not screaming. I think maybe he had already rendered her unconscious. He obviously has some kind of weapon, or he frightened her with a weapon.
At this point, if they're actively struggling. So I don't know how the suspect did that. There's also stickers on both sides. Although if he pre-planned this, he may have snipped this.
Yeah, because there's quite a lot of foliage, and bear in mind it was August, so there would have been more. But if he'd pre-planned it, like he says, had he been and beat back the bushes or cut them, or I don't know, maybe he'd prepared it in some way. But I think he was probably running on so much adrenaline, he's just barged his way through there. And that's where he took
more rocks back there, but clearly more rocks here. Walking through the tunnel.
How awful to think that that's where you end your life. That's where you end up. This man, oh my God, please God, please God, this man has got to be caught.
These white lines denote the approximate location where Rachel left us. This is actually a Bible verse that Michael put there for Rachel.
People have been going there and putting messages, graffiti messages, like memorials for Rachel, and that particular one is a Bible message that her brother put there for her.
We did have rain the last couple of days, as you can see there's barely any water coming through here.
So even though they've had rain, there's still not much water there, and that's where Rachel Morin lost her life. But not only lost her life, you know, he brutalized her. Literally made it so Rachel's beautiful face was just obliterated. You know, this is a man, he's got to be caught. I mean, I just can't believe he's still at large. I cannot believe it. He's such a danger to women. This is him. This is the photo fit of him. And along with another beautiful picture of Rachel. I think he must have seen Rachel, and he has definitely planned it. She's a beautiful woman. He's thinking he has the right. You know, she can't just be, it's dangerous to be beautiful, isn't it? You know, it's dangerous to be beautiful because he's seen Rachel and he's just decided he's going to have Rachel no matter what. And not only that, he's going to murder her afterwards. So it's horrible. But anyway, so I wanted to show you that, you know, I've been covering the Rachel Morin case right from the beginning, and one day I will be on here saying to you that this twunk has finally been taken off the streets. I just hope it's sooner rather than later. I just hope it's sooner rather than later for Rachel and for all her children, especially and her mum and the rest of her family, her brother, her ex-husband there that was talking. They seem to have had a very good relationship. Her boyfriend, of course, she had a boyfriend at the time who came under suspicion, but now they know it's this man. This is the man that they're looking for. So, prayers that he's caught soon. So remember to live and love carefully, wisely, and don't be afraid of going on trails. You know, you just got to perhaps make sure you're with someone else. I would advise don't wear earbuds because, you know, you have to hear what's going on. I mean, I wonder if Rachel was just wandering along there with her earbuds in, listening to music, and she probably didn't even hear this evil that was coming towards her. So rest in peace, Rachel. I don't think she will be able to rest in peace until this, although, you know, she has been laid to rest. At least, you know, her family had her actual remains to be able to give a dignified burial to. But I don't think she will be at rest until this man is off the streets, because this man is a danger to women. Because if he hasn't already done it to someone else, you can't believe that he's never going to do anything like this again. Okay, I'll see you really soon in the next video, and until then, may your God go with you. Bye.